Payday 3 is really like all of the heist movies in one. You could be the Joker, disable a few security systems, then just kind of walk in guns blazing, or even go full Ocean's 11 and steal everything without anyone even realizing, or even just create your own movie as you make a valiant last stand as the rest of your heisters have been arrested. Payday 3 is going to be a cooperative sandbox adventure where, by whatever means you deem necessary, you need to steal something. This might just be a high-end party, this could be a bank, or even, hey, this giant armored car. I was a huge fan of Payday 2, especially in VR, so when Payday reached out to sponsor this video, I said, yes please. And I mean, hey, Payday 3 is even on Game Pass, so a bunch of you could play it right now. At the core of Payday 3, you need to steal something. This could be as simple as a diamond necklace or some bags of cash, but also as crazy as a self-deleting crypto wallet. And when you first start a heist in Payday 3, you kind of have this lull of like, okay, what exactly are we doing here? In Payday 3, you truly have an absurd number of options as to how to approach stealing something. Sometimes you'll go full-on stealth, don't even bother putting on a mask, and you never have to take out a weapon. Simply sneak around, avoiding cameras and guards, and you can get into the safe undetected to rob them blind without anyone even being aware. But other times, you'll walk into a jewelry store, one of your party members will immediately get caught looking a bit too closely at that manager's keycard, and all of a sudden the fight is on. And while Payday 3 does feature 4-player co-op, so heisting with your friends will be a ton of fun, it also of course has random matchmaking, and this too can be fun just because the sheer amount of unpredictability. As I was going through the levels playing in pubs, you would find such a range of other players. Occasionally, someone would just go full-on guns blazing and immediately start assaulting NPCs to get out some of that end-of-day office job anger. But then other times as I was playing, I would have some people that were suspiciously good at this game. They'd use their pings to alert you of camera positions, know exactly when guards would turn around and walk away, and even open doors preemptively for you to proceed. Like at one point, we had our entire team die, and there was just one lone heister who was doing it. He was just kind of soloing the entire mission, and it made you stop and ask, why are you so good at robbing banks in a video game? But the actual process of doing heists is also incredibly fun because there are a ton of different mini games you'll often need to complete under pressure. Whether this be breaking into a display case, picking some locks on a safe or even a door, or even just hacking PCs as you try not to get noticed. This game does a really good job at making the actual heist part incredibly engaging and fun, where there's something for everyone to do. And a big component of how you proceed in a heist will be based around how you built out your character. Because yes, Payday 3 features a full suite of character customization options. Do you want to take their money in a suit, or maybe just some sweats with gold gloves for the style? And of course, there are all kinds of terrifying masks to choose from to really instill terror in those random bank goers. But also from a functionality perspective, there are a ton of weapons and gadgets to choose from here. You can spec into a full shotgunning tank, or even focus things down with a rifle and try and get some one-tap headshots from afar. A pretty fun aspect of this is all of the unlockables in the game are unlocked with the money you're actually stealing. So after a heist, you get to go home with all of the valuables you stole, and you use that currency to buy a bunch more equipment. And what makes all of this more interesting and creates some very interesting synergies is the full-fledged skill tree. For me, I mostly spec'd into some of the medic perks because my teams always sucked, so I had to be that graceful savior that was helping everyone as they're down. And there are truly a ton of choices for how you build out your character here, a ton of very interesting combos and skills to unlock. And in the background of all of this, you will choose to be one of the iconic heisters, some of these from past games, but also one new heister added with Payday 3. And one of the cornerstone aspects of this game is you really just have an absurd amount of choice at all times with how you build out your character, but then also how you approach certain heists. Right off the bat, you'll have a major option of either going in loud or quiet, and there are a ton of smaller details that can impact your decision here. If you are going stealthy, there'll be a variety of gameplay elements that may force you to act. At one point while we were sneaking around some rich guy's house, all of a sudden a delivery driver shows up and totally changes the scene. Or even at a bank, as we were trying to stealthily steal a key card, all of a sudden we got the call that the manager's shift is ending soon and she's going to leave, so we have to act immediately. And there's some other cool mechanics, like after stealthily taking down a guard, you need to stand by to answer his radio call and give that perfect cover story.
I'm just loving these pretzels. Do you know who left them here?
A lot of the times in Payday 3, even if you start stealthily, things will eventually devolve into going loud with guns blazing if somebody gets caught doing something they shouldn't, but this too is a ton of fun. Time is of the essence here. Early on, as the police show up, you'll just get some basic street cops, barely having any armor and with simple weapons. But later on, you're going to get SWAT, or even worse, hostage negotiation will begin. Because yes, in Payday 3, hostages are a currency. And like literally, you could trade hostages to fend off the police raid, but even later on, you could trade them for some valuable resources like healing items in between raids from police, which is just absolutely hilarious when you think about what you're actually doing here. Or if you don't want any of that, you could just use hostages as a human shield because, yeah, that's actually quite effective. But the police also come with some special tools of their own. Lots of the police will just be armored units with the occasional shield or even a sniper to make things a bit tougher. But of course, you can manage that, you're a professional. But sometimes these special units will show up and these can be truly devastating. Like getting endlessly tasered because you let this stupid enemy flank you and now you need a teammate to save you. Or far more embarrassing, having this like 14-year-old ninja enemy just taunt and do flips as they stand over your body beating you up. I don't know, that could definitely be embarrassing. The real threats are some of the tankier enemies. These are going to require your entire team or even some gadgets to take them down, and bulldozers can literally just smash teammates now. And as you do go into Heist, gadgets are another pretty powerful X factor. These could range from just simple armor that you could place down to even overkill weapons you could call in as drops, like this overpowered grenade launcher. But what I found to be the single most effective gadget of all were these little stun mines. Simply place down a few of these on the floor or wall, and once activated, they're going to stun all of the enemies around, which can be vital in tense situations with large groups of enemies. And overall, I found Payday 3 to just be a ton of fun. Whether you're playing with friends or even with randoms in a lobby, you never knew exactly what you were going to get. You didn't know what exactly would go wrong, or perhaps go super right. Like, yeah, sometimes while you're trying to make that valiant last stand to save a group of strangers that you just met like 5 minutes ago, but you really feel like the hero. You feel like you're in an action movie and you are the star of the bank heist. And all of this is made better by the fact that you can easily play Payday 3 for yourself just on Game Pass or using my link in the description.